I remember the day like it was just yesterday. The year was 1988, and my family just moved to England. My brother Luke and I were cowering in fear in the back of our mom's car as she not only attempted to drive on the opposite side of the road, but also attempted to navigate an incredibly complex English roundabout. There were cars on either side of us. There were no stoplights. There were no stop signs. Cars entering over here and exiting over there. I thought for certain I was staring death in the face after that traumatic experience. After 3 years of living in England, our family really grew fond of roundabouts once we understood them. They were easy, they were efficient, they were safe. They're actually kind of fun. And nothing thrills me more today to see more and more roundabouts popping up in the United States today. So, my goals are simple tonight. I want to tell you about the history and facts of roundabouts, go over a few of the different types of roundabouts, and also speak about some of the advantages of roundabouts. Now, when many of you think of roundabouts, you probably think of England. And this for a good reason, is the very first known roundabout was established in Letchworth Garden City, England in 1909. Now, the biggest difference with these very first roundabouts that were built in the early 1900s is that there's something called traffic circles. And with a traffic circle, traffic already established inside of the circle, they actually had to yield to traffic coming inside of the circle. As you can imagine, this created a lot of safety and congestion-related issues. Now, it wasn't until 1965 that an Englishman by the name of Frank Blackmore, who was absolutely sick of the issues that were being created by these traffic circles, decided to do something about it. And he created what's known as the mini roundabout. And with the mini roundabout, traffic entering the circle actually had to yield to traffic already established inside of the circle. And that was the precursor to the modern roundabout, and that's typically what we see in our towns and our cities today. The first modern roundabout in the United States was actually established not too long ago, 1990, in Summerlin, Nevada. And according to RoundaboutsUSA.com, the really is a website called that, there are about 60,000 roundabouts in the entire world today. France is at the top of that list with 30,000 in their country alone. And they estimate that the U.S. has about 2,300 roundabouts, and that number is growing every year. Let's go over some of the types of roundabouts. So we're probably all familiar with the standard type of roundabout. Incoming traffic is going to yield to traffic that's already established inside of the circle. Traffic is going to flow in one direction around that central island or that central hub. And multiple entry and exit lanes are possible in a standard type of roundabout. Now, if any of you have ever been to beautiful Avon, Colorado, you guys are familiar with the raindrop type of roundabout. As you can see from this picture that I took off of Google Earth, they do not form a complete circle. Rather, they form a raindrop shape, no surprise. The exit and entry roads are typically one way, and these are becoming very popular around interstate interchanges just because they allow for such quick access to the interstate. You can actually see a portion of I-70 right there in the lower left-hand portion of the picture. There's another type of roundabout, the turbo roundabout, and this is very popular in the Netherlands. The Netherlands has about 15 of these turbo roundabouts. And with the turbo roundabout, drivers are forced to choose which lane they want to go into before they actually enter the circle portion of the roundabout. No route travels in a complete circle with a turbo roundabout. And despite its kind of complicated looks, there's actually a 2003 study conducted by 2 Belgian professors. They found that this type of roundabout is actually a little bit safer than your standard type of roundabout, just because there's going to be less weaving in and out of the lanes. And there's also going to be less weaving because of there's very defined lane separators and lane dividers. There's also fewer conflict points because